Today we're checking out another pair of Reebok that it's a retro of a retro model. They came out about 10 years ago, and now there's a new edition that it's rather interesting. Hey guys, welcome back to a Kicks Reasons channel, and today we're looking at the Reebok Kamikaze 2 or Hurrikaze 2, how they call it now, the alternate Seattle Supersonics colorway. And if you are familiar with this model and if you've been following the brand for a while, you know that this colorway released around 2013, 2014, so about 10 years ago. And now, after all that time, Reebok decided to re-release this colorway again. And this is a good thing because I didn't get this one last time. For one or another reason, I was chasing other pairs, other colorways, so this one kind of became overlooked for me. And finally, this one released again recently alongside with another one, which was the OG Reverse. I'm also gonna grab that as well. You guys know I'm a huge fan of the Kamikaze models. Kamikaze 1 is my favorite. Kamikaze 2 as well is amazing. Designed by the greatest John Morris, the same designer that created the Hurrikaze. So that exact year in the NBA, we had the Kamikaze 2 and the Hurrikaze, one versus the other, designed by the same exact person. So yeah, the Kamikaze 2, what can I say? Everybody knows what the shoe is. Huge following, one of the most popular sneakers from Reebok. This is the second signature for the Rain Man, Shawn Kemp. Again, I'm missing the Seattle Supersonics. This was one of my favorite teams back in the day. The Rain Man was also one of my favorite players. First one was Shaq, and Rain Man was the second one. And his sneakers were always amazing. I remember one of my best friends actually bought the original Sonics colorway back in the day, and it featured the massive ultra hexalite on the heel and hexalite on the forefoot, which was a big step up from the original Kamikaze. They only featured hexalite on the heel. Regardless, this colorway is great. I mean, replicates exactly the colorway of the jerseys of Seattle Supersonics from that time, 95, 96, and a couple of years later, same exact colors of their jerseys with the same shade of the green. We have the red and we have the yellow, and this exact colorway, you'll see it on the details, is representing it. Now, what can I say about the new retros? They're very similar to what I've seen in the last releases, last couple years, and of course the releases that came out about 10 years ago. This shoe, even the original pair, was released in synthetic materials. There was nothing genuine on it. There was no genuine leather. There was none of that stuff. So every time Reebok is releasing a retro and is using genuine materials, I'm genuinely impressed, and I'm very surprised because the original pairs did not feature that. As the original pairs, we had the 4 original colorways, which again were great. The original Sonics, the All-Star Game, which was white and the blue. Then we had the black and white, huge fan of that colorway, and the black and red, which is absolutely iconic, following the black and red success of the Kamikaze 1. And this one, now if we look at this one, let's see the production date. This is produced in July of this year, again over the summer, 5-6 months between the production and the actual release. And the insole, just like pretty much any other Kamikaze 2 or Hurrikaze 2 that has been released in the last couple of years, is the Ortholite insole. And I'm glad they're sticking out with this one. Yeah, it's not a Reebok Athletics. It's nothing really super fancy, but Ortholite is great when it comes to odor management and some moisture absorption. So it's a good thing to see they're still using Ortholite, and actually it's quite comfortable when you have them on your feet. Padding is significant, similar to what all the other pairs have. Same on the tongue, same on the side. So really nothing unusual. The only unusual thing I notice is the laces. The laces are more like the ones you buy as a spare. If you go to the Reebok store, I don't know how familiar you guys are, but I go pretty often whenever I travel outside of state, because around where I live in Georgia, there's none Reebok stores left. But whenever I travel and I try to find some spare laces in different sizes and stuff like that, Reebok used to sell them all the time in their stores, and they look exactly the same. So nothing unusual. The original pair or even the retro had the flat laces, a little bit thicker. They looked a little bit better, but you know, it's not a big offense. Obviously, we don't have a Kemp right here on the toe box for the signature. I don't think we'll ever see it. Would have been nice though. I remember back in 2013, 2014, when there was still some conversations between Reebok and Shawn Kemp. You can even see him in some pictures with some custom made for him sneakers. Unfortunately, none of that materialized and they could not bring him back on board. I don't know what happened there. unfortunately, and we're not going to see that kind of branding. We have actual stitching on the toe box in yellow to match the yellow on, or kind of a mustard yellow on the sneaker as well. Outsole is the same exact super sticky one. Hexalite branding down on the bottom, but obviously we know the Hexalite is the modern day one. So release price 130. I think these are actually very well priced. They're not going to break the bank, and obviously if you guys wait a little bit, they're going to go on sale. Not a huge following on the Hurrikaze or the Kamikaze 2 now, so maybe you grab them for like $60-70. I think it's a big win for this model. And if you're like me, collecting all the possible colorways for this model for your collection or just to rock, you'll be happy to grab these because they look great. Always like that tiny vector logo on the toe box. This was one of my favorite times in designs because all the models at the time featured these small brandings, not something giant, and the actual design spoke about the sneaker, not the over branding, not a giant vector or a giant swoosh or a giant whatever. It was just small branding and beautiful design all around with the lightning bolt and everything else. So I really hope Reebok releases the low ones. I'm gonna grab a few of the black and whites again, maybe other colorways. Love the low. I have several pairs again of the low and I rock them all the time. But yeah, this alternative Seattle Supersonics colorway is really nice. I'm so glad it's in my collection finally, since I missed 10 years ago. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Hit the thumbs up if you like the video, stay tuned to the channel, subscribe if you're new, check out some of the other videos coming very soon, and as always guys, you have a wonderful day.